Right now at noon, manslaughter charges are filed following a deadly downtown Carthage crash.
And we've got a pretty decent day, still mild out there, at least for the time being, but changes are on the way. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, some students in Southwest Missouri get hands-on training and emergency protocols as part of Bus Safety Week.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Prosecutors charge a habitual DWI offender with involuntary manslaughter for a Carthage crash that killed one person and critically injured another. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Samantha Walker. 22-year-old Mark Mendez Hernandez of Southwest City, Missouri is in jail on multiple charges, including DWI, death of another, and DWI, serious physical injury. In total, prosecutors filed 11 charges against him. Authorities say his driving privileges have been revoked since 7 times, starting in 2023. The crash happened in downtown Carthage. Police spoke with multiple witnesses who say they saw Hernandez driving at a high rate of speed when he failed to stop at a stop sign. Investigators say he T-boned an SUV, forcing it into the path of a pickup truck. The driver of the SUV, 76-year-old Gail Lynn Wade, died at the scene. His passenger, Glenda Ruth Wade, was flown to a hospital in critical condition. The pickup driver suffered less serious injuries. Lauren Ashley's Law is set to take effect in Oklahoma beginning November 1st. The bill is named after Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman, 2 teen girls from Welch who were kidnapped and killed in 1999. Their remains were never recovered. Lauren Ashley's Law addresses the reduced prison sentence of a man charged with accessory to felony murder in the case. The bill adds accessory to murder in the first or second degree to the list of crimes requiring an offender to serve 85% of their prison sentence before being eligible for parole. Some little passengers get a big lesson in safety. Instructors at Pineville Elementary School are teaching students how to properly exit the bus in case of emergency as part of Bus Safety Week. KOAM's Ty Parks rolls into Pineville with the story.
Straight out. All right. Boy, y'all listen really good.
The body cannot go where the mind has never been. To teach the kids at Pineville Elementary how to handle a bus emergency, the transportation staff walks them through it.
Very important to have the kids aware of what to do in case of an emergency. So we're having emergency evacuation drills today to make sure that they know if there is an emergency what they need to be doing.
This is a requirement from the state to have these drills and teach them the correct way to exit the bus, which is not jumping.
We teach them to sit down on the bottom and then slide out. And if they're small children, we always have somebody in the back to help them to get out as well. We have if our driver's not doing it, it'll be like a bus captain on a regular bus. They'll help them to get out the back safely.
All grade levels went through the training today, even those who do not normally ride a bus.
It makes me feel safe because the school takes a lot of procedures to keep all the kids here safe, and it just makes me feel safe.
That safety comes above all else.
Biggest things that we start with, just so they don't become frightened of the bus, is to let them know how safe the bus actually is. It's actually safer than riding in your family vehicle.
In Pineville, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
For another layer of safety, the new school buses are equipped with rear-facing cameras, as well as front and rear-facing stop-arm cameras. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Now, we're doing pretty good so far this afternoon. Skies are pretty clear. There's been a cloud or two here and there, but nothing too wild out there. It's a live look downtown downtown Pittsburgh. Live look from MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Plenty of cars on the road, lunch commute, and it's still pretty good. Yesterday's numbers, 39. Is where we started in Joplin yesterday. Average is 46. Made it up to 74 though. That's about a big difference, going 5 degrees above normal out there. Our temperatures right now still looking to be on track to be above normal. We have some cooler numbers up north with some low 60s. A little further south, we're getting into the upper 60s, even some low 70s. Grove and Jay both a little warmer at 72. As we head through the evening, again, clouds will start to gradually increase in the next few hours. Be mid 60s by 7, going a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies, and around 10 or slightly after, we'll start to see some isolated showers and storms out west, eventually increasing coverage as we go overnight tonight into tomorrow, back to the upper 50s by 11. We're going to talk more about these rain chances and what our expectations are for the weekend here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Volunteers at Chase the Chill, Southwest Missouri, are beginning to gather winter clothing items such as hats, gloves, and scarves to donate to people in need. The organization has more than 350 volunteers, many of whom knit and crochet the items themselves. This is their 11th year giving back.
It takes a lot of time. A lot of these volunteers put a lot of effort into this, and some of them have been with us for several years, 6, 7, 8 years of the program. So they're crocheting and knitting all year long to make these scarves, and they're putting a lot of love into the process.
Some of Chase the Chill's major sponsors include the Joplin Public Library, Joplin Parks and Recreation, and Freeman Health Systems. They're accepting items until December 5th before sending them out into the community on December 10th. Some area high school students have a chance to get experience behind the camera at sporting events while also supporting local media. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
Area high school students have been presented a unique opportunity, an opportunity to have their sports photos published in local media.
Being able to have your work published is just such an incredible feeling to really boost your confidence, help get yourself out there, and make you want to do it more and more.
The program, named the SEK Sports Exchange, allows high school kids to take photos at area games and submit them to possibly be used by media outlets like newspapers.
The football season is intended to be a pilot program, and we want to keep going from there in basketball season and try to work in some other sports. It's been very enthusiastically received by high school students and their teachers.
The purpose of the program, helped by the Department of Communication at Pittsburgh State University, is to expose high school students to photojournalism as a career option, while also helping tie up loose ends for media outlets who may need photos.
Just to give them that experience, try to get the excellent work that they're doing in front of a broader audience, and then hopefully along the way show them a little bit about what they could learn.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Ward says the reception from students participating is overwhelmingly positive. Well, coming up, Vice President J.D. Vance said Thursday that the policy of the Trump administration is that the West Bank will not be annexed by Israel. The latest details. And later, we're making French toast in a mug in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Voters in Pittsburgh and Fort Scott had opportunities to meet the candidates before the November 4th election. In Pittsburgh, candidates running for USD 250 School Board and City Council gathered at the Balkan and Block 22 on North Broadway. The PSU Kansas Education Association and Pittsburgh Education Association hosted the meet and greet, giving voters direct access to ask questions about issues. It was a chance for voters to become more informed before heading to the polls next month. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Israel today as the Trump administration tries to ensure the U.S. brokered peace deal between Israel and Hamas stays on track. The White House is also speaking out against a symbolic vote by Israel's parliament to annex the West Bank. Natalie Brand has details from the White House.
Vice President J.D. Vance left Israel today saying he feels optimistic about the ceasefire holding.
I think that we're on a very good pathway. It's very early, but it's a good start.
But he also criticized a symbolic vote by hardliners in the Israeli parliament to annex the West Bank, land Palestinians want for a future state.
If it was a political stunt, it was a very stupid political stunt, and I personally take some insult to it. The West Bank is not going to be annexed by Israel. The policy of the Trump administration is that the West Bank will not be annexed by Israel.
Hours after Vance's departure, Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived as the Trump administration works with allies on its peace plan, including the challenge of disarming Hamas and rebuilding Gaza.
With momentum in the Middle East, the administration was hoping for progress with Russia and Ukraine, but President Trump is no longer planning a second in-person meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like we were going to get to the place we have to get, so I canceled it.
Russian strikes this week targeted civilian sites, including a kindergarten in Ukraine's second largest city. The administration has now imposed new sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies, saying it's the result of Russia's lack of a serious commitment to a peace process.
I think that they'll certainly have an impact. They're massive sanctions.
A Russian spokeswoman called the new sanctions counterproductive. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
At a European summit today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the United States for the new sanctions, but added that even more pressure on Russia is needed to get it to agree to a ceasefire. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
If you think this is just for coffee or tea, then think again. I'll show you what I mean.
And we're tracking thunderstorm chances building in tonight into the weekend. We'll go over those details with you when the KOAM News at noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Things looking fantastic. And again, for the majority of this day, we're going to be pretty okay. And then shower and thunderstorm chances move in. Let's take one more look outside downtown Pittsburgh, where again, if you look right next to where it says Skywatch Weather, right at the top of that banner, there's a cloud. It's one long cloud or maybe a couple of smaller clouds all linked together. But the moral of that story is there's not that many clouds. We've got plentiful sunshine out there, and that's the way it's going to remain at least for the next, let's say 3 or 4 hours before clouds will start to gradually increase, going partly cloudy and eventually becoming mostly cloudy much later this evening. And again, once we reach about 10, 11 o'clock, that's when we're going to start to see showers and thunderstorms building in across the area. So by 1, they're along and west of the 69 corridor, but starting to encroach upon the I-49 corridor. And a reminder, nothing severe is expected with any of this activity. We don't have the right setup. The concern we have is with heavy rainfall and the potential for some localized flash flooding. We get our Friday commute underway, showers, thunderstorms continuing across the area. And again, some of these could produce heavy rain as we head into the afternoon. The lunch hour, it's going to be soggy. Kids heading home from school on Friday, it's going to be soggy. Hey, heading home from work in the evening. Good portion of us, especially in the southern half of our area, showers and storms continue. Now, we do look to get a bit of a break for some of us by the time high school football arrives. We could have some light showers or maybe even just some light rain going on, which in most cases shouldn't be a problem, but I do know there are some fields out there where if it rains as hard as it's expected to throughout the day Friday, they may not be playable by Friday night. So even though it may dry out where you are, just be aware of that as well, because we are expecting quite a bit of heavy rain. After that little pause, we start going into Saturday morning. This is where we run into our next problem. More showers, more storms, right as we're looking at getting the 4 states Hard Walk underway. We're looking at getting the Missouri Southern Homecoming Parade underway and a number of other fall events. They're just things you'd like to do on a weekend that maybe you didn't get to do last weekend because of the storms. Well, you're not going to be able to get to do them this Saturday really either. Now, the good news is, again, nothing severe. The problem we have is just this heavy rain. It's widespread across the area throughout the majority of the day Saturday. So you're going to need the umbrella, but we could still get some embedded thunderstorms. And you have to remember, the lightning's still dangerous. When thunder roars, head indoors. We say that for a reason, because even though we're not expecting severe weather, it doesn't mean that lightning is going to come out and play volleyball with you. It means that lightning can still be dangerous if you're not taking precautions. The other problem on Saturday is it gets close to sunset before we start to clear out, which means any events that you ordinarily could postpone until the afternoon, you may not be able to, simply because it's going to rain the majority of the day as this low pressure system continues to work on through. We get this pause heading into early Sunday morning, and then more showers and maybe a rumble of thunder or two will persist into the rest of our Sunday as well. So here's a look at some of those estimated rain totals, anywhere from 1, you can see where we get a lot of that rain, 1 to 3 inches. And again, because of the nature of these storms and the showers, localized higher amounts are possible. And again, there's that risk for at least some flash flooding potential, isolated, but still there. So again, with that in mind too, tomorrow, if you know your route takes you along a way that's prone to flash flooding, make sure you've got an alternate route in mind. All right, breezy tomorrow as well. We could see southeast winds gusting to 20. Rest of today, we're looking at low 70s, upper 50s, low 60s tomorrow. Same on Saturday, mid 60s Sunday. With the clouds, our overnight lows stay mild into the low to mid 50s. A couple isolated storms possible Monday. Temperatures otherwise relatively seasonable beyond that. And so far, Halloween looking pretty good. And that was last year too, if I remember correctly. So hopefully this year will be an encore presentation.
The only thing I don't love about when we officially hit fall is when all those seasonal allergies start kicking in. I think you can hear that they're hitting me pretty hard.
Between that and the temperature changes, there's something that's going to kick somebody down here.
Well, thanks so much, Chris. Stick around. We're making French toast in a mug in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Breakfast is called the most important meal of the day, but if you're in a rush, it's easy to skip. Breakfast on the go just got even better with this French toast in a mug recipe. Howard shows us how to make it in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
A few months ago, we shared a recipe in our e-newsletter where we made an omelet in a mug. And by the response, everyone seemed to love it. You know, the best part of mug recipes is that they're super quick. They cook in only a minute or so. There's practically no cleanup, and you only cook what you need. One of my favorite mug recipes that I've been making for years is sort of a cross between French toast and a rich bread pudding. We start by cutting a couple slices of bread into cubes and placing them in a mug. As for the bread, that can be anything from hearty white or egg bread to even cinnamon raisin bread. Then we beat together an egg with some milk, along with a touch of cinnamon and sugar, a splash of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. We pour this over the bread, sort of smushing it down. Is that even a word? Before microwaving it for about a minute. When it's set, drizzle it with a little syrup and it's ready to dig into. You can even make this ahead of time and microwave it at work, so it's fresh. The recipe for French toast in a mug, as well as our recipes for Mexican coffee cup scramble and chocolate mug brownie are also online, so you can turn your favorite mug into your favorite kitchen tool. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for an all-in-one way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, ahead of our showers, low 70s out there. Showers, storms building in after 10 o'clock tonight throughout most of the day Friday, most of the day Saturday, a good portion of the day Sunday. A little cooler this weekend as well. I guess the big thing is no severe weather expected, but there could be some heavy rain, so do keep an eye on that. Of course, Friday night football, and then the Heart Walk and the homecoming parade on Saturday. A lot to just make sure you're keeping up to speed on.
All kinds of things going on.
Yeah, definitely something to pay attention to. Thanks, Chris. What do you have for us coming up at 5?
Well, a lot at 5. For starters, the government shutdown has delayed the release of what the Trump administration says will be the USDA's last report tracking hunger in America. The annual survey has been published for nearly 3 decades. Hear why its elimination complicates the fight against hunger. Plus, how organizations in Crawford County are raising awareness during Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. And we're going to hear from the candidates of the Baxter Springs race for mayor. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dow. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.